Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today I'm going to cover something that I haven't done for a while. Patch notes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more information or videos about Neverwinter, hit subscribe button. As I said in the intro, it's been a while since I've covered the changes in the game. The official patch notes don't always show everything, so I will try to be as complete as I can with my personal version. Of course, it's also not complete because I don't archive everything and I cannot see everything. These will not be patch notes for a certain patch, but more for a certain time delta. The last patch notes video was somewhere around the 30th of May, so these are patch notes from then until now. Do note that the values I researched are from mod 17 preview. So on live, things might still be different. All changes, of course, will be processed into the character builder version 0.4.3 and further, along with a couple more minor fixes. The wiki used to be for mod 16, it was called the mod 16 pocket wiki. But I intend to keep it alive from now, so also for mod 17 and further along. Until maybe I use the character builder as the visualization for the wiki, who knows. So let's get into all of the changes. I always did this via the wiki itself, so we're also going to do that right now. It's here. There are a couple of changes that are just wiki changes and not changes in the game. There's the wiki, we're at version 1.10 and the first one is a wiki change. It's not a game change. I added the companion gear to the wiki. This was a requested change. Mod 16 immediately made this top outdated. So here's the companion gear, you can see all the companion gear. I will update this with the new companion gear as well, everything that I know, but I haven't done that yet. So this top is also red, that's why. But companion gear is now also in here. It's also in the builder, by the way. Then the next one is also an added overview. I added the boon point list. There was some confusion about boon points. Some people have 70 boon points, some people have 67, some have something in between. Some people claim to have even more than 70 points. There is a bug. I have done some research myself and I can find a total of 67 boons if I add up everything in here. And of course, I'm taking into account some tasks that you can do multiple times. If you know of any boons that I've missed somehow, I checked twice, let me know. But I think this is the actual maximum. So that's why I made this list to check this and to show it also. Then the patch update. So now we're getting to the changes until this patch, 2019-07-29E.4, and as I said, this is on mod 17 preview, so not all of these changes have to necessarily be on live. The first one, the Tenebrous, now states a maximum of 24,000 damage on the tooltip. I think this one is already a little bit older. This was one of the first ones in this list. If we're going to the Tenebrous, it now states that you deal 8% of your current hit points and necrotic damage up to a maximum of 24,000. I think this is not even a change to the Tenebrous. It already was that way, but now it is explicitly mentioned there. Next up, we do have some changes that are fairly recent and I'm not sure if they're already on live, but the incoming healing has been reduced from the enchantments. It has been halved. What we saw is the tactical enchantment and utility became very, very good. It used to be 12% each, so 5 of them was 60% incoming healing bonus. And that quickly became best in slot for example, the new trial where you need a lot of healing. At 6%, it's still the best you can put. So incoming healing has been reduced by half in the tactical, cruel, and wicked enchantments, because there's where you get it. Then some artifact changes. Actually, most of the changes in this list are due to the trial, I think. It feels like most of them are due to that. Lantern of Revelation tooltip fixed to a 10% damage buff. I think it used to be 16 and now it's 10. Then the Sigil of the Paladin used to be 20% increased damage resistance and now it's 15%. I guess it was a little bit too strong. So that's also in the artifact screen. Sigil of the Paladin. Is big enough? Yeah. So here and your where you and your allies gain 15% increased damage resistance. So this used to be 20, which was incredibly strong. Then Ogma's token of free movement, control immunity increased from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. I think this is a really weird one. I don't understand why this change was made, but I noticed that this was changed. Okay, I don't know. Then the Valindra set control bonus 15% to 10% and control resist 10% to 15%. Also a very weird change. Maybe for PvP. This one also maybe PvP? I don't know. These are very odd in the current meta. Then the Gaunt's Anvil of Creation, the shield, was buffed from 5% to 15%. And the damage dealing to enemies duration increased from 10 to 15%. So the Anvil's... Whoops. Gaunt's Anvil of Creation. So regenerating shield absorbing up to... This used to be 5% of the user's maximum HP. And dealing some damage to any enemies we get too close for... It used to be 10 seconds, now it's 15 seconds. So this is actually buffed. Then the Tiamat's Orb of Majesty damage debuff increased from 0.2% to 15%. This was obviously wrong, so this is fixed, I guess. At least in the tooltip. Then the Valhalla set bonus, the damage reduction per stack decreased from 3% to 1%, so I think it stacks up to 5 times. Valhalla artifacts here. Here it is, the Horn of Valhalla. So this set bonus here used to be the enemy's damage is reduced by 3% for 6 seconds, stacks up to 15% of 6 stacks up to 5 times, so in total 15%. And now it's 1% per attack, stacks up to 5 times, so 5% maximum. I guess this is also due to the trial where we were debuffing Halaster's damage a bit too much, but I'm not sure if it's due to that. Okay, then the Acquisitions Incorporated set now gives 5% movement speed instead of 1000 movement. So this was an old formatting. Movement, of course, is always a percentage now. You could say 1000 is 1%, so this is buffed. I guess it's true. So this now gives 5% movement. Next up, the Erratic Drift Globe activation power. Decreases incoming damage instead of increasing outgoing damage. Erratic Drift Globe. So that's here. Here is the activate. Why isn't it a set bonus? Yeah, okay, this is not the activation. This is a set bonus. So when you use a daily power, create a rune on the ground for 6 seconds, empowering any ally who stands upon it with 5000 defense, 5000 deflection, and decreases incoming damage by 5%. and this was increases outgoing damage, which is of course on a different artifact set. So I guess this was a mistake and it has been changed. Then the insignia bonuses, I saw some textual changes. I didn't add them all here. I was a little bit excited that they finally fixed the weirdness where 2 insignia bonuses was stronger than 3, but sadly only one was fixed. The Knight's defense 2 insignia bonus is reduced from 1.5 to 0.75%. So Knight's defense is this one. It used to be 1.5, so the same as this one, and now it's 0.75. So we have one fixed, I guess. Not all of them, but it's a start. Then the companions, I did add a lot of companions, which is also mentioned later on, and companion skills, because I got a lot of new companions that I was still missing. I'm still missing 3, and one of them I can definitely get, and the other 2 we have to see. They're very, very difficult to get. So for the companions, I saw one delta. The grung equip power went down from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. So let's see. The grung poison target 50 magnitude damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds, and this used to be 12 seconds. It's a minor debuff, but I don't think many people will be using this. I probably have to check. But this doesn't look like a very big thing. Then the mounts, also some changes to the legendary mounts in this case. The Armored Griffin legendary combat power did, so that's the combat power of the legendary mounts, did a 30% damage reduction for 6 seconds, and that has been reduced to a 15% damage reduction for 10 seconds. So it has been lengthened, it has been easier to use, but it only does half of the debuff. It also now stuns the target for 2 seconds, which is, I guess, useful maybe in PvP. This is some kind of, we give you a little bit back for the nerf, but this is definitely due to the trial where we were using this quite a lot. And still are, by the way, because 15% damage reduction is still very strong. Then the legendary Adolescent Deep Crow combat power went from a stun to a root, otherwise it's the same thing. Let me see the mounts. Your shriek roots enemies around you, and this used to be stuns. So now enemies can still do actions, but they cannot move around. That's the difference. Stun means that the enemy cannot do anything for a while, and root is that it cannot move around, but can do actions. Not sure why this was changed, but it's hard to understand the whys often. Then the legendary Tyrannosaur combat power, so both of them, the War and the Commander, War Painter and Commander, I think, they went from lowering their defense to increasing their damage taken, and it does not stack anymore. So this is also something that was used a lot during the trial. We were running with 7-8 Tyrannosaurs and sinking them at the same moment, so that we had a big buff at the same time. And increasing the damage taken by 10% for 10 seconds. And this is the change. So this is now 10 seconds flat, it does not stack anymore. Next up, we also have the Mod 17 logbox mounts and companions. I added them. I still need to add a couple of things here in the newer mod. So I added the Trobrian's construct already. I added the Gith race. But there's also some more companions and mounts. I think in the mounts we have the butterfly stuff. Blue butterfly swarm, the red and yellow, I think they're called. yellow and red. Anyway, I added all of the new things in here that I found. What else is new here? I think the toad is also here. The legendary giant toad is in here, and also the epic version of it. What's it called? Epic giant toad. So it's not mod 16 anymore. Maybe I should just change this. Then the crystalline golem. There's also a new companion. Is also now in the companion page. I have it, but for some reason I cannot equip it yet. Crystalline golem, crystal golem. Utility offense, is hit points and power, so pretty decent, I guess. If you still have utility offense slots free. And also the skills are added, by the way. I've also updated the companion skills quite a bit. I've sorted them by companion, so it's a little bit easier to follow now. But here you also have the crystal golem powers, which are not that special to read. Trobrian's construct, companion and companion skills, same thing. I've also added them. The gift raise data to the attributes tab. So here we now also have the gift, which is 2 dex and 2 strength or 2 int, and it gives you these bonuses. You can check them here, so you don't have to run into the game or find the description somewhere else. Gelatinous cube companion, I also didn't have that one yet. It's also one of the ones that I got, what I mentioned at the start. I got a lot of them. Gelatinous cube is one of the companions that is very difficult to get. I have to thank Skull Elf for that one. He managed to get one from the developers, I guess. And he was so kind to give it to me. It's an augment, of course, but as you can see, it's 400 power and 200 critical avoidance. It's 10 times too low. I still have to check whether this is really what it gives, but probably it does, and that's of course not good. Actually, we can do that together right now because I have it, and it was a defense offense. Oh, I have it here. 400 power, 200 critical avoidance. That means I should do this real quick. Let's see, where are we at? 445 power. Yeah, so if I clear this, I'm at 45, so yeah. And the other thing that was in here, 200 critical avoidance, 2066, so that's okay, 200 of these and 400 there. So it actually does what the description says, which is of course not enough. Oh yeah, last thing, all of the data, as I think I already mentioned that at the start, all of this will also be in the next version of the Character Builder Plus application, which I've been making. 0.4.3 will have all these changes, which means that of course it's for mod 17. So if you want to prep for that, you can use the Character Builder for that. That is all that I have right now. Of course, I'm missing the companion gear. I'm also still working on the enhancements. I didn't finish them yet to see what they really give because the descriptions are not always correct. But I'm not expecting big changes here. So, if you have any other remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.